And I'm Baby Jane Falkenberg, cinema critic for The Village Voice. It is indeed my pleasure to bring to you two very hard-hitting, what they call nouvelle vague filmmakers today. Two very distinguished filmmakers. One a very handsome gentleman, you would think he was Yves Montand. Gil Belmondo, here to share his latest work, Mando Verkackte. And Mr. Heinrich Müller of Germany, East Germany actually, here to share his work. First we go to Mr. Belmondo. Mr. Belmondo, your work is wonderful. What does it symbolize?
Well, thank you very much, Jane. I used to be a critic for Cahiers du Cinéma. In being a critic and falling in love with the American genre of cinema, I learned many things firsthand at screenings that I got into for free. One of the things I learned was a passion for color and vistavision, the great breathtaking landscapes that your directors do so well, and I feel as you look at my work, Mando Verkackte, you will get a full taste of my passion for the film world and the film medium. You see, the first part, it starts off very European as a homage to Buñuel. I invoke the stark Catholicism, the gut-wrenching man pitted against the socialist state that he depicts, man reduced to bone meal, man crushed under the ever-grinding tanks of progress, left behind mere skulls. And then I move ahead into a more romantic feeling about the futility of international espionage as it is practiced by our governments in a very futile war against each other. I think you can understand the stock symbolism, machine guns raking havoc, raking bullets, high-powered rifles used against people. I think it is a critique of the international global politic as we know it now. Man, just a mere cog in the machine of the world bankers. Even though my budget was only, as what you would say, it translates to about $5,000, and I didn't have the great artisans of Hollywood to help me with my project. I think I was able to fill the screen with a most interesting depiction of man at the end of his tether, existential man afloat in a scorning abyss that spits on him.
Oh, very fascinating.
I think if you see the rest of my film, you will understand the soul that I'm trying to project onto the screen. My movies are not for the people who like the surface of things. My movies are for those who believe in a clarity, a poetry of the soul that lives within every frame. I think this is something that I got directly from my good friend Jean-Luc Godard. Godard and I used to room together near the Sorbonne, and we would pick up young girls together, and we would buy them nylons and chocolates, much like you Americans do, and that's pretty much why I'm in New York now.
Mr. Belmondo, I think it's fascinating the way you have a grip on communication in this day and age of movies becoming popular.
Movies is the only medium left to man. Here you see, further in my movie, Mando Verkackte, people who have gone mad, people who are reduced to savagery. Pure animal savagery, because it is not a critique of capitalism. No, no, no. In fact, these robots depict the love story between Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy. I'm a student of classical cinema of Hollywood. You see, what I'm trying to do in this flare scene is an invocation of the Magnificent Ambersons by Wells. And here in my sweeping vistas, you'll see that I'm truly a student of John Ford and the Searchers. And here you see in the famous swamp scene, what I'm trying to do is, the bird is really like Jean Tierney. The boat, she is like Hedy Lamarr. You see, do you see my love of cinema?
And now for you, Mr. Müller.
Well, I come to America with my first movie. It is entitled The Dust Bowl. Because after all, being European, what do I know but that America is just one vast dust bowl? People who are little more than dust or straw. People who are like diseased dogs living on mulch. Living on dust itself, filling their mouths with dust, eating grass. People driven crazy by the depravity of capitalism. Capitalism, surely a futile system. What my cinema shows is the vast emptiness that is the heart of America. I took my camera directly into the belly of the beast, so to speak. The heartland, the wheat basket of Nebraska. Here is young Horst Buckles. He stars as a disillusioned cowboy who gets anthrax from sleeping with a bull. Do you follow me? And here, the plow symbolizes the way my lens is like a scythe digging into your brain.
bringing the message directly into the cortex of the brain with a surgical precision. The hooves are like the endless hooves of capitalism stepping on your face, trampling you under. There is no hope. Here I managed to get Walter Brennan himself to deconstruct himself, to appear as a cowboy, disillusioned with the whole farce of cowboys. Well, that's all very illuminating, Mr. Mueller. I'm sure your movie will be a great success in the village. Mr. Belmondo, we must pause now for our sponsor again. Carrots. Carrots are really the best thing about life. Why, carrots have so many uses I don't even know how to name them. Here you see lettuce stuffed with shrimp, mayonnaise, and carrots. The pure, wholesome, reinvigorating goodness of carrots. Carrots go with everything. They're easy to carry, they're easy to disassemble. Apples. Apples and carrots. Carrots and apples. They used to say it's a matter of oranges and apples, but no, it's a matter of carrots and apples. The wholesome, fresh goodness of carrots. Because after all, 14-karat gold, that rings a bell with you, doesn't it? Yes, just as carrots should ring a bell with you. Carrots are just full, fresh, delicious, wonderful. I can't say enough good things about their uses. Carrots are the best thing that can happen to start your day. Wonderful, 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 wonderful carrots.
Oh, thank you. I'm Al Quagmire of the National Agriculture Institute. Did you know that carrots can make an excellent poison? If used correctly in the right dilutions, carrots can eliminate pesky insects, bugs, boll weevils, mangy little critters that inhabit your yards, the back 40s of America. Why, look at this giant tank of carrot poison. Carrots are truly one of the most effective killers of anything verminous. Carrots, if they only had...
Thank you very much, Al Quagmire. Back to you, Mr. Miller. You are so civil and wonderful, and yet you have a reputation for dirty literature. Are these charges a thing that troubles your family as it troubles me? Because I believe in family. I believe the family is the cornerstone of my life. Family is what... You are part of my television family now on this beautiful spring day.
Families are all well and good, Caddy. Everybody has a family, but I'm talking about the individual. The individual American who has to stand up like Pithecanthropus erectus did back in the old days. You got to stand up and take a look around, because what I see coming is a firestorm of epic proportions. If mankind keeps on this addle-brained way, just scratching himself and looking around and trying to figure out who he can weasel some money out of, everybody in love with the buck, the almighty dollar, instead of looking within for some spiritual values, I say read Krishnamurti. Read some of the great figures of the past. Otherwise, we're going to be trapped in the hallway with the fire outside raging and looking at the fire escape. And you won't be able to get out, Caddy, I'm telling you. You won't be able to get out. I think Americans have got to wise up a little. I think these beats, this Kerouac and Ginsberg kid, like I was saying earlier, they represent maybe a transformation if we can only get behind them and give them the solidarity and support these kids deserve. They're trying to free up their writing, free the soul of America, tune into something better than just this endless need for money and buying, and it's all crazy. Out in Big Sur, I feel I'm away from the rat race of the city. The way the city is like a beast that just grabs you and won't let you be. It just gets you by the throat and just hangs on. So what I see coming is, I'm afraid, pretty dire consequences unless we change our way of life, Caddy. I don't mean to come on like Nostradamus here, but I think anybody with a pea for a brain, like we used to say in Brooklyn, can see what's coming if we don't wise up.
Oh, Mr. Miller, surely you don't feel...
Yes, I feel that in this country there has to be some drastic changes. I'm not saying my books are the answer. My books are only just the prattlings of one man. But, you know, at times I think I tune into what Jung called the universal mind, and I can actually see things pretty clearly for a kid from Brooklyn. It's great to be back here in New York City, but what I see coming is a whole apocalyptic corridor of smoke. I see fires everywhere on the horizon from one end to the other. I think mankind is driving itself mad with this materialistic fetish. If you look at the situationists in Paris, these are people that are trying to debunk the marketplace. You know, people being reduced to mere commodities. I mean, when a man has a price tag on his toe, what's he going to do but be angry? These people are going to be angry. I mean, people can't have price tags on their toes, you know? They've been pushed around too much. I remember when I was back in Paris, things were free and easy, you know? I could sleep near the open-air urinals and, you know, not even bother about the smell because the honeysuckle was on the vine, if you know what I mean. Those were the good old days. A gal was a gal and a guy was a guy, but here, with all this class oppression coming down on us, I think there's going to be some hard times ahead for a lot of people. And I don't want my head to be in the noose when the state decides to call my number and put the price tag on me, if you know what I mean, Caddy. But I think maybe it's a situation if people resolve within, if people make a firm resolution to get in touch with their sexual humanity, to really feel their sexuality vibrate, they can get out of this trap. Oh, do you really feel that sex is the answer? Sex is the only answer, honey. Now, I'm not pushing my books. I'm not here on your talk show to push my books. My books aren't widely read. Why do you feel that is, Mr. Miller? Are they for an elitist special group, a special few? Are they not for us? Well, I'm not exactly Reader's Digest territory, but I think there's a lot of stuff in there for the common man, the common egg, the Joe on the street. And I think someday a person will be able to use television correctly even, Caddy. In fact, if you want me to leave you with some good news, Caddy, I have a vision that someday a guy will appear on the scene that will carry the good fight.
And welcome to Studio 13. My name is Tom Brennan. When I envisioned the name Studio 13 for this program, my chief concern was establishing a sort of metaphysical time-place in TV land, a continuum, if you will, called Studio 13, in the best tradition of some of the talk shows of the 1950s and 60s that had that rather surreal aspect of floating in space and being a space that the viewer could come to. And I think essentially one of the subtexts I wanted to get to on this program, and it's often invoked dictum by the media maven, oft-quoted Marshall McLuhan, quote, "In a mindless age, every insight takes on the character of a lethal weapon," unquote. And principally that's what I'm going to be dealing with in this program is, well, I've had the flu for the past 2 weeks, and I've seen a great deal of television. And I think one of the problems that exists in television, generally across the board, is an intense stratification that goes on. What I'm not going to do on this show is I will not be hugging gang members and telling you that gang members are one congealed actual group. I'm not going to be dealing with prostitutes as one congealed actual group. I'm not going to be dealing with the homeless as one congealed group. But rather, I think we're going to take a jackhammer to that conundrum of thinking of individuals as members of a group and solidifying it to them and galvanizing them and hypnotizing them with words to think that they're a part of a group. We're going to try to stress that the guests, or the people I will be interviewing, are individuals strictly. And in the communication age, I think in reference to what McLuhan said, with all the information disseminated now, one of the evils, possibly, if I may use that word, is too much information, or information by committee, is a thing that dulls and blunts perceptions. And one thing that strikes me chiefly is, if you all remember the Challenger space shuttle blowing into pieces, I watched it that morning. For no reason, I was turning channels at about 11 a.m. that morning, and the space shuttle went up.